Hi guys, it's Dr. Ron Miller here with cashbasedphysiotherapy.org, and today we're going to go over how to calculate how much that you can pay yourself when you first start opening your cash-based physiotherapy practice. Okay, so for example here, let's start off that we're doing individual visits and we're charging $150 a session. Now what happens in the business that gets taken out of this $150 that warrants how much that you can pay yourself? Okay, so for example, someone comes in, you swipe the credit card, it's $150 going into the company business. Now what happens, and then what dictates how much you can pay yourself? So first thing right off the bat, you're going to get a credit card processing fee. It's going to be 1.7%, as high as maybe 2.7%. So that's going to take $3 out of that. So we're left with $147. Now, you have to calculate how much it costs to have one session, okay? So to treat a patient, it costs money to open the doors, to keep the lights on, to pay the bills. So let's go with $40 a visit, which is kind of high. But starting out, you're not gonna have a lot of patient visits yet. So we'll just use $40 per visit. It costs me to pay the bills, insurance, whatever you want to, what are your expenses? So how you calculate this is you go to your pro forma and you add up all of your monthly expenses and divide that by the number of patient visits. And then you'll know how much it costs to have per session. Okay, so again, you calculate this by adding up all your monthly expenses and dividing the number of patient visits. Divided by that by your expenses, and you'll be able to calculate this. So, if it costs $40 to treat a patient to pay the bills, then you subtract 40 of it. Now we're down to 107. Okay, so then from here, let's see, how much can you pay yourself? So from this, then let's say I want to pay myself $70 an hour. Okay, each session's an hour treatment anyway. So if I take $70 out, okay, that's maybe my personal salary. You got to take payroll taxes out of that. Yes, you're going to have to pay taxes on everything, which you'll see as you open a business, taxes are on everything. It's crazy. But out of the $70, you'll take that out for your salary. You'll pay yourself $70 an hour, and you'll save money on in a separate account for your payroll taxes. And that's a whole nother thing that you need to talk to your accountant about. So after that, we have $37 profit. But guess who gets taxed again? So off of profits every quarter, probably you'll get taxed and you have to pay an income tax off of your profits. So from this you get a 20, it could be whatever you and your accountant work out, but it could be 15, 20, 25% depending on revenue and how you decide to get taxed. But just say you get a 20% income tax. So after tax you'll have a $29 net profit, okay? So this is how the example numbers work if you're doing individual visits in a cash-based clinic. Now let's play around with some of the numbers. Okay, what if we can change this number? What if we can get really efficient and decrease our expenses? This is what I promote a lot. You have to keep your expenses down, otherwise this number is going to skyrocket and you'll be able to pay this less. So say you have a lot of overhead and this ends up being $60 a visit. You're pushing yourself, paying yourself $70, and you're going to get little to no profit. That's $9 in profit. You're going to break even. You're not making profit. The goal of the business is to make a profit. So, if you put too much overhead here and you put yourself in a little bit of debt too much, you can't pay yourself as much. This is why I kind of promote, you got to keep your overhead low starting out so you can pay yourself a decent salary. So where I'm at now, I believe I'm at $27 is my cost per session. And we're seeing easy over 150 patient visits a month now. So I believe my cost per session is 27. And year to year to year, you can always analyze this number and can you make this less? Can you run your business with less expenses and make adjustments that way? Take things out, or You know, you have options of doing some towel service, and if it costs $136, can you renegotiate that? Can you get a better rate on your credit card processing machine to take money out of this? You know, you don't think maybe a 2% to 1.7% difference, that's 1% difference there. You know, if you're generating over $200,000 of revenue, that's a nice chunk of change there. So you can play with these numbers and try to make it work for you. But the goal is to keep this cost per session down as much as possible. Okay, so as we go back to here. So another thing to start out with, you can take a smaller salary, maybe pay yourself $50 an hour at first, just so you start generating more and more profit. So instead of 70, you'll have 57. Oh, but the problem is here, you have to pay 20% of $57 now. So so you'll still have to pay more in taxes here, but you'll make a little more profit now, okay? So you have to watch this. You can play with these numbers here. And then that's going to work out for you too. So the goal is with this one, another thing is too, as things get busy, what if you bump up this number? And then you can pay yourself more, okay? So as you get this fundamental outline down and you start managing your business with the scorecard, using my pro forma, tracking your expenses, you'll be able to play around with this to a point where you'll be able to pay yourself, like $100 an hour if you wanted. And as your numbers go up, you'll be able to pay yourself more and more, and be able to make sure that your company is still generating profit, you're making lots of money, your cost per session is down, and this is 1.7%. So if you understand this, you'll understand the basics of how you're going to be able to pay yourself. And then after year after year after year, you'll know this and be like, hey, I can decrease my cost per session by doing this. I can get a new credit card processing payment to get my interest rate down. You can be able to play with some of these numbers to make sure that you're still making profit, you're paying yourself good, and the numbers are working. So if you followed any of my stuff, you have to know your numbers. And this is one of the basic stats and numbers that you have to know what to do when running a cash-based physical therapy practice. So let me know your thoughts or questions or concerns. You can put them in the comment box below. If you want more information about my cash-based system, you can visit cashbasedphysicaltherapy.org. It goes over my business, marketing, and sales 101 courses. And thank you for your time.